What's up, 2K crew? Welcome to episode OE40 motherfucking Z. Episode 40. Damn, we've been doing this almost a year now?
Mm-hmm.
That seems crazy. Seems crazy.
Snow on the ground when we started, and it's supposed to be snow on the ground tomorrow.
It's supposed to be a fucking blizzard. Awesome. Awesome. And anyone that knows me knows I hate the fucking snow. So, why you live in Michigan? Because I want to.
I can normally deal with it until, like, January.
I think it's old.
Then I start to get depressed.
It gets old. It's like, man, all right.
I like having that white Christmas.
But after that, I'm done with it.
Yep, same here. And it seems like in Michigan, it just gets worse.
Yeah.
You get into January, February, March,
and then
still in April.
And then the snow's not white anymore, and it's just black and nasty. And yeah. Yeah, so we're sitting here recording on Sunday. No, we are not watching the Bears and Lions because that game's going to suck. So we're watching an intriguing one, Atlanta at New Orleans, and it seems like if you have Drew Brees on your fantasy team, you're wondering where the fuck is he? So I'm right there with you, and it's kind of a little teaser for what we have in store later. So, all right, 2Ks, before we jump off, I wanted to give a big shout out to our newest YouTube subscriber, Quaker421. What's up, brother? Thanks for the sub. Leave us a comment on this episode, and we will read it and answer it. So, again, thank you. Well, 2Ks, let's jump off into some college football, man. The Big Ten was pretty legit yesterday. Mm-hmm. Pretty legit. You talk about some good games. It started out, I mean, let's get the obvious one out of the way. Ohio State just drubbed Maryland. Yeah. And we'll leave the that side of the Ohio State talk for a little later in the show. But Justin Fields, that team rolls. I mean, that's pretty much all you can say.
No, there's not an offense in college football that can compare to them. I mean, they are just, and they're doing it against legit defenses.
Yeah. And we had, I don't know. Yeah, it had to be with you when Maryland's fallen off the map.
Yeah.
They started out, just putting up 70 points a game, it seemed like. It's like, all right, is this hoops or football? And now, I mean, maybe their schedule was very easy in the beginning, and now once it gets into Big Ten play, it's like, all right, these are legit teams and defenses now, but to kind of tickle the fancy of some Michigan fans, Michigan, you beat Maryland, 38-7?
Yep.
And that was your offense getting on track and the team just solidifying. And Ohio State comes and just shits on them for 73. So that's kind of a good. I'm not saying it's a great litmus test.
Yeah,
but
it's hard to compare that. You got one team like Michigan who's more about ball control. They want to run time off the clock in their possessions and run the ball a lot. To where Ohio State's kind of they got the. They can score and give them 6-7 seconds, and they can score on it's a big play waiting to happen.
Well, that's Justin Fields in a nutshell.
Yeah, yep.
I mean, he can flip a switch and turn any game into a video fucking game real quick.
And that's basically what it is. It's like watching him play Madden.
Yeah.
Just
toy with you. All right, fuck this. Let's go. Let's go. But I think the one that kind of caught a lot of people off guard, not me. Was Minnesota beating and upsetting the undefeated, both teams were undefeated, but Penn State. That was a nail-biter, 31-26. And before we dive into and give you our analysis, I got some stats here for you. And, I know we're not a big stats show, but with a game like this, I think to do it justice, we do need to throw some stats at you. Penn State's quarterback, Sean Clifford, went 23 of 43 for 340 yards, a touchdown, and 3 picks. I didn't get to watch a lot of this game, but the 3 picks are probably what killed Penn State. The running back, Journey Brown, had 14 carries, 124 yards, 2 touchdowns. Their wideout, KJ Hamler, 7 catches, 119 yards. And we're rolling the boat over to Minnesota. Tanner Morgan, the quarterback, went 18 for 20 for 339 yards. 3 touchdowns. Now, that's a fucking stat line. you have more touchdowns than incomplete passes. I'd say it's a good day at the office. And you can tell with their top running back, Rodney Smith, 18 carries for 51 yards. Their plan was aired out.
Yep.
And boy, did they ever. And Mr. Morgan's top wideout, Rashad Bateman, 7 catches for 203 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, huge game. It's just the bottom line is Minnesota didn't turn the ball over, and Penn State did.
Yep.
And probably you play that game, 5-6 times, Penn State's a better football team.
Yeah.
But on that day,
especially if that was played in Happy Valley.
Yeah, it could be a whole different story. But yesterday, Minnesota, they executed better. They didn't turn the football over, and that's why they won the game. No,
and they, for the part I did see it was they jumped out to a quick lead, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I thought just running away, I'm like, wow, this isn't even gonna be a fucking game. Mm-hmm. And then I kept getting alerts on my phone and like, ooh, man, this is getting close. This is getting close. This is getting close. So, granted, this game will affect the top 4.
Yep.
Because if you think about it, LSU, Bama, one of them's going to fall out. If Penn State stays undefeated, they were at number 5. Common sense would say they'd slide up to 4. Mm-hmm. So it has big implications on that. And Minnesota's still sitting atop of their side of the Big Ten. Mm-hmm. And big shout out to Coach Fleck. I know you're a huge fan of the show. Keep that boat rowing. And there are a lot of people that would really, really want you to row that boat to Ann Arbor.
Yeah, I've been a huge Fleck fan. I mean, going back to when he was at Western, and people are going to be with what he's doing at Minnesota and the way that he's turned that program around in year 3. People are going to be reaching out to him this offseason. And if Michigan, I would be shocked if Michigan does anything with Harbaugh this year. No. I think they're going to give him another year, at least to finish out his contract. But if they go out and they just get slaughtered against Ohio State,
which I think is going to happen,
and then turn around and lay an egg in the bowl game, that might be it. Mm-hmm. That might be it. Harbaugh's got some big weeks ahead of him that I think are going to kind of, we're definitely going to see what's going to happen there.
So you say his khakis are kind of hot right now,
right? Very.
Like he's got hand warmers in his pocket, or someone have like a candle right next to his ass.
It's hot, but and him coming back in the Notre Dame game, that was huge for him to be able to get that, because that's been the knock. He can't beat a ranked opponent or a team that's ranked better than them. They can't win that game. And you guys didn't talk a whole lot about the Michigan Notre Dame game last week, so I'll bring it back up. They manhandled them. They did. They slaughtered them. Michigan outcoached them. They outplayed them. I mean, every facet of the game, it reminded me of Michigan, Wisconsin this year. So hopefully they can ride that and ride out this season. Unfortunately, I don't know if there's a way that anybody can beat Ohio State right now.
No. I don't think there's a defense that can contain or even slow down that offense. And kind of leading into the big game of the week, Bama and LSU. Bama and LSU. Man, this game did not disappoint.
No.
Did not disappoint. The only person that did disappoint was Jay Stone. He was sending me text messages, and I will let me read them, and because it's actually quite funny. Where are we at? There it is. It says, what a throw by Tua. It was an incomplete pass. This is what the commentators were saying. And I don't know. This is in quotes. I don't know a better deep ball thrower than Tua after an incomplete deep ball. So yeah, he was keeping me afloat on what was going on.
I mean, the better quarterback in that game is Burrow.
Yes.
He was the better quarterback. And right now, if the season was over today, Burrow would be the Heisman Trophy winner.
I also wrote down his stat line and Tua's line just to kind of compare the two. Burrow went 31 of 39, 393, and 3 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. It's not a bad day at the office either.
No.
And then you got Tua, going 21 of 40, which, with the score being what it was, I'm not shocked that either one of these quarterbacks threw 40 times. I'm not even shocked. He went 418, 4 touchdowns, and pick. Not nearly as efficient as Mr. Burrow, but how much of that is I'm sure he started the game out kind of seeing what that ankle will do, because if I was in his situation, I'd do that too. And maybe it was a little gun shy, not sure how his mechanics would work, and then obviously he settled in quite well. But yeah, that and if you haven't watched on YouTube, look it up. The post game with Coach Orgeron. Mm-hmm. It's hard enough to understand what the hell is coming out of that man's mouth, and then he gets emotional and starts babbling. So God knows what the fuck he's talking about. But it's one of those surreal scenes in sports that you really don't. We put these players and coaches almost like as godlike creatures when they're actually just human. And for someone to show that kind of emotion, because you bust your ass to do it. If you look back, he really wasn't even supposed to be the coach at LSU. No one really wanted him there, and he took the big Cajun fuck you and shoved it right in their ass. And they're probably the only team that can even hang with Ohio State right now. And I have a very good feeling if you put Bama and Ohio State on a neutral field right now, I'm taking Ohio State at least 14 points.
I agree.
And that's not taking anything away from Saban and his offense. But Ohio State's defense is that much better. I think getting back to your point in the defense that Ohio State faces, I think their own in practice is about the only one that can give them any competition.
Yeah.
So, yeah, with that being said, I mean, it was a great game. Like I said, I didn't disappoint at all.
Oh, no. 46-41. I mean, I don't even remember the last time I ever seen, Alabama give up 40-some points. And same thing can be said for LSU. I don't remember the last time seeing LSU give up 40-some points.
Yeah. Well,
when you think of those two football teams, you're thinking of a game in the low 20s.
Well, a few years ago, it was 9-6.
Yeah.
And with both of these offenses, you knew damn well we're not going to be looking at a 9-6 game yesterday.
Well, you got two of the best quarterbacks in the country.
Yep. And I want to say the over-under was set at 75. So you took the over, you made some money.
Yeah.
You made some money. And, I was going to, since you weren't here, I was going to give you the floor. If you had any more wrap-up to the Notre Dame, Michigan, you kind of touched on a little bit, but I want to make sure you get your fair dues. So
no, you guys covered it. I mean,
there really wasn't much more to say.
Notre Dame they were out-schemed, they were out-coached, they were outplayed. I mean, there's no other way to put it.
It reminded me a lot of the national title game. And what shocked me the most out of that, the game last Saturday, was we've seen Notre Dame come out slow and be lethargic and not really clicking. Both offensively, defensively, doesn't matter. And going into halftime, they were still in that game. And after close games and not the best starts, Coach Kelly and his crew make the necessary changes and fix shit.
That's what good coaches do.
I didn't see a goddamn thing changed. And even going back to the Virginia Tech, because they deserved to lose that game too. I don't understand the play calling. And I think Christian pointed out perfectly. Michigan lined up and said, "You're not running it." Ian Book beat us. And had it been normal conditions, it might have been a little easier for Ian Book to try to beat that defense. But in a monsoon, fuck.
Yeah.
No.
And, and we talked about it beforehand because we knew what the weather was going to be that day before the game started. And we both gave the nod to Notre Dame. We thought Notre Dame and their rushing attack and their offensive line was better. And after watching the game, and I've knocked on Michigan's offensive line this entire season.
Everybody has, myself included.
And with the weather being the way it was, everybody in the stadium knew that it was going to be a ground and pound game, and whatever team could control the trenches was going to be the team that came out on top. And Michigan's offensive line just destroyed them. I did not see that happening, but hopefully that is kind of a wave of things to come, and Michigan can get things figured out on the offensive line and get the running game going. And then in the second half of the game, when the weather actually, the rain kind of slowed up and both teams started to throw the ball a little bit. Notre Dame was chasing, so they had to throw the ball. And Michigan started to throw the ball, and they had success there also. So, after watching the game, I mean, that was probably the best I've seen Michigan play in the last 3 years probably.
Now, my question to you, and I'm kind of putting you on the spot. We didn't talk about this even in our show prep, but obviously, well, not obviously, there's still a chance for your side of the Big Ten. Mm-hmm. Is it likely? No. That would mean Ohio State would have to have 2 losses going into
it, and that's not going to happen.
No.
I think Ohio State has Rutgers next week.
Fire them up. Let's go.
They might be able to put up 100.
Justin Fields plays the first quarter. But if you're Harbaugh, and I know right now his, we already touched on his seat is so fucking hot right now. Do you put in the third string kid, the quarterback? Because he's a freshman, right? Or is he sophomore?
Sophomore.
Do you want to see what you have in him? Because I mean, I know you play to win every game. I get that.
I mean, the same thing can be said for McCaffrey. McCaffrey's their number 2 guy right now, and really haven't seen them give him a chance yet to see what he can do.
And when they did, he unfortunately had to go out with a concussion. Yes. But you and I have talked. I love that third string kid.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking to someone the other day, and they asked me what my thoughts were, and I feel bad. I never remember the kid's name. Milton. And he texted me back. Goes, seriously? Yeah. Did you watch any? He didn't catch that game. That granted, kind of garbage time. But he's more the spread style. Even though Shea's supposed to be that. Still haven't seen it. The Notre Dame game was about as close to a spread style, but the RPO minus the P because it was a monsoon. But to me, he fits that mold better. And if I'm a head coach, I want to see what I have in him and how the offensive coordinator and him work together to maybe get to that spread that they're looking for. Just a thought. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure Shea Patterson isn't on a lot of, probably very low on Mel Kiper's big board.
Oh yeah.
Not to say he hasn't been a good.
He's been solid. He's been solid.
Yeah,
he was better last year than what he has been this year.
Yeah, but just kind of a thought. Now I've been kind of rambling on to kind of give you some time to think, so I don't want to put you on the spot. But what are your thoughts on that?
No, we touched on it a little back when Jamie was on, because Jamie made the comment first about, we're not going to play for a Big Ten championship. We're not going to play for a playoff spot.
That was shortly after the Wisconsin game.
Yes. And it was like, why not give these kids some looks? And that way, come next year, they have a lot of returning players coming back next year. They have a chance to be very good. And you're going to have another year under, a new offense. And so, in that being said, yeah, I think it's a great idea. But at the same time, when I look at, being in Harbaugh's shoes and being the coach at the University of Michigan and what Michigan has went through since the Lloyd Carr era and the pressure that comes with the job, Jim Harbaugh has forgot about more football than I will ever know about. Yeah. So I can't really speak to, I know more about, who should be the quarterback at Michigan. Harbaugh's playing the best quarterback there. If Patterson's the guy that rolls out, there's no question that he's the best quarterback on that team. Harbaugh's not an idiot. He's coaching at the University of Michigan, people. Like, he knows what he's doing. But his job, he's on the hot seat. So I agree with him to a point where he's putting the best player on the field that's going to give him the best chance to win the game, because that's what you play to win the game. And so yeah, you roll out a different quarterback and you're trying to give them looks, but what you're telling your fans are, well, we're giving in on this season, and then people are going to knock Harbaugh because, oh, Harbaugh's given up on the season already. He's going to roll into a game and he's playing the third string quarterback. He's given up on it. Yeah, some fans that are actually knowledgeable might be like, oh, this is a good idea. Let's get these guys some reps before the next season. But most of your Michigan fans out there that are, we got to win now, we got to win. We're better than Ohio State. We got to beat them and all that bullshit. No, we're not. We're not. And Harbaugh is going to come up with the best possible scheme that him and his staff can come up with to try to win that game. And if Patterson's the guy out there, he's the guy out there because he's the best. Harbaugh's not playing Patterson because he likes him more. He's playing him because he's obviously the best quarterback, and he feels like he's the best. He gives you the best chance to win. So I see it from both sides.
Even if it's not this year, obviously Shea's gone after. I mean, he's graduated, and even not as a Michigan fan, if I was, I would be very excited to see how him, Bell, Charbonnet, how all those kids grow together. I mean, that's a legit top. Their offense should look good.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm not too sure where the linemen are as far as their.
I mean, they have changed from a pro style offense to a spread offense in 1 year. Yeah. You haven't had one recruiting class yet to recruit for that style offense.
No,
you have to give it time. It's not going to. You can't change it all in one off season.
No,
you can. No. They threw this offense in, and is it looking better now than what it was, say, against Wisconsin in the early season? Absolutely. Is it looking as like what it can in 2 years from now? No. It's going to take time.
So off the cuff, another question. I know I'm putting you under the gun, but you were on your 8th vacation since February. Michigan State laid a fucking egg yesterday.
Yeah.
Biggest blown lead, I think, in Big Ten history or some shit. Even though Michigan State, the brass are saying D'Antoni's fine. There's no pressure. He's not going to be fired. What happens if Michigan goes in and just drubs the shit out of him? How hot does that seem?
No, people that are saying that D'Antonio is fine are completely fucking wrong.
Yeah.
Who's to say that they're not going to be the team that's going to jump on the Fleck train? Because Fleck might see that as an opportunity to be like, hey, we're not the powerhouse of the Big Ten, but look what D'Antonio did in his first few seasons at Michigan State when he eventually turned. They won the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So Fleck might see that as, hey, this is my opportunity to take a team that might be kind of mediocre in the Big Ten, and I can do back D'Antonio did when he first got to Michigan State, and when he had Narduzzi, who's at Pitt now as the defensive coordinator.
I think you hit the key name right there. That team hasn't been the same since Narduzzi left. No. But could I see if the Michigan that showed up against Notre Dame takes that game to Michigan State, you might see a very similar score.
You got it. I mean, and me being a Michigan fan, I think that the Michigan State rivalry. I mean, the history of the Michigan and Ohio State rivalry is I think it's overrated now. I don't even. I guess myself, I don't even really call it that much of a rivalry because the rivalry has to be two-sided. Ways. Yes. Yeah. To where Ohio State wins every year. So it's until Michigan can get back on that level and win a couple of those games. I consider more of the Michigan State game to be the biggest rivalry of the season. And I think
some of the weirdest shit always happens in those games.
I think that between Michigan and Michigan State, there's an actual hate. I think Michigan hates Michigan State. I think Michigan State hates
the whole big brother, little brother.
I think the Michigan Ohio State. I think there's the history of the rivalry, but I think there's respect there. There's no respect between Michigan and Michigan State. So I think Michigan State's down. They're down. It wouldn't shock me if they played their best game of the season against Michigan because that's just what they always do.
That's what happens.
But to me, I want Michigan to just destroy them, and I hope that Harbaugh just keeps the foot on the pedal and just make them look stupid.
Fleck going to Michigan State. If I had the choice between the Michigan State and Michigan job, I would take the Michigan State job as well. For the most part, it's a lot less pressure. Your fans aren't as crazy. there's already and Michigan's getting there, but there's always been that tradition of defense in Michigan State. And so I think that would be, for me, if I was a coach, an easier transition than to go right to Michigan.
But, on the other sides of things, there's maybe 5-6 programs in college football that are dream jobs, and Michigan's one of them.
Yep.
Michigan State's not a destination. It's not a dream job destination for college football. I kind of say Michigan, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Alabama, obviously, LSU, and then it's kind of a toss up from there. Maybe Florida State you can throw in there.
Which that job's open. Deion Sanders might get that job. I think that'd be a little ridiculous, but that's just me. Well, let's touch on. Let's keep it still in the realm of college sports here. But on the same day, was that Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. Story comes out that my Heisman pick, Chase Young, is being suspended, and then you get James Wiseman. If you don't know who James Wiseman is, he was the number 1 freshman recruit from Penny Hardaway's program down there in Memphis. And if you did happen to watch the game against whoever the fuck they were playing, they told the story about 25 times each quarter. So everyone was well aware. So if you're living under a rock, Chase Young, even this was before he was even at Ohio State, took or maybe his freshman year, I can't remember what the story was. A family friend loaned him some money. The loan has since been paid back. NCAA deems that improper benefits. You switch to Mr. Wiseman's case. This one gets a little bit more convoluted, but also a little bit more ridiculous. You might be saying to yourself, why is the number 1 freshman going to Memphis? Well, this kid was coached in high school by Penny Hardaway before he got the job at Memphis. And for those that don't know, I'll go even further. That's Penny Hardaway's. That's where he played. Jerseys in the rafters, and while Hardaway was coaching Wiseman in high school, he helped his parents financially move closer to the school. Hold on, I'm getting to where this gets really stupid. And this was like 2016, I believe. And in 2008, Penny Hardaway donated money to the University of Memphis. He wasn't coaching there. He just donated some money. Be a good alum. Well, because he donated money, that deemed him a booster. So when he was helping the Wisemans move financially, that was receiving money from a booster. Can we all take about 5 big motherfucking steps back and just realize how ridiculous both of these are? Now, the news came out on Thursday. Thursday was ESPN was going to be at Memphis's game, showcasing this kid. I want to say it was 37 minutes after he was deemed ineligible. They had a court ruling to say he could play while all of this is being restraining orders, what they called it. Temporary, of course, but can we just stop? The NCAA is the biggest, douchiest. Granted, I understand there needs to be regulations, otherwise shit's just going to run wild. And when Christian and I touched on last week the new rule coming out in 2021 where they can make money off their likeness. Yeah, there does need to be some regulations and rules in place. Otherwise, you're going to see kids having, agents as a freshman in high school, and I think that's where a lot of that's going to lead. But that's why they came out and said, yes, we're going to do this, but we don't have the firm guidelines in place. I get that. But calm the fuck down. I mean, now we're getting so just nickel and dimey. Bears are up 7-6, by the way. And you had I'll give you the floor so you can kind of express your thoughts, because I think it's dumb as shit.
Well, I think the Memphis situation and Penny Hardaway, that one to me is a joke because it goes back so many years to when this kid he was in middle school at the time.
Yeah.
When all this is going down. So that I don't even, honestly, I don't even care about it. I just think it's stupid.
Yep.
Now, the Chase Young situation at Ohio State, that just seems really fishy to me. You get a loan when you're a freshman at Ohio State, and then it's been paid back, and it was a family friend, but if this family friend happened to be right in Ohio, and there's just a lot of, it's typical, if there was never really any shade under Urban Meyer, and Urban Meyer's recruiting and Urban Meyer's players, and take it one step further to Ohio State as a whole, Ohio State's players. If there wasn't that shade, then I would be like, okay, it's a one-time thing, it was a mistake, and whatever. No, this is becoming every single year with Ohio State, every single year with the Urban Meyer program, because Urban Meyer's not the coach there now, but he was the coach there when all this happened.
He's the one that got Chase Young there.
And Urban Meyer, I know it went down last season as Urban Meyer was sick, and Urban Meyer had what would he have, a tumor in his brain or something like that, and that was the reason why he stepped down. No, he stepped down as the coach at Ohio State because he was in a lot of fucking trouble, and this shit's gonna surface, and I don't think all of this has surfaced yet, and it's gonna. Nope. I think more is just gonna keep getting flushed out as these seasons go on, and so it's just there's. I hear a lot of people kind of taking this to a whole different subject, but a lot of people that I know that are Notre Dame fans, and they're like, well, this Brian Kelly is not working out at Notre Dame, and it's time to get rid of him, and we want Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer said back before he took the Ohio State job that he was interested in the Notre Dame job. Notre Dame ain't gonna hire Urban Meyer.
Not with what's going on. You're right. It seems.
Do fans love it? I mean, as a fan of Michigan, I would be like, fuck yeah, bring Urban Meyer, and I want Michigan to win. But they're not going to do it. You're talking about billion-dollar universities. You think they're going to take the risk and take the shade that Urban Meyer has put on when Urban Meyer at Florida. Look at all the shade that they had there, all the shade that they had after he left, and he goes to Ohio State and does the same thing again. Urban Meyer's a great football coach. He's probably maybe the greatest recruiter that college football's ever had, and
he didn't have to climb trees or anything for it.
But when it's just one thing after another every single year, schools like Notre Dame and schools like Michigan, they're not going to allow that to come. That's not going to be allowed. So,
what are your thoughts on the timing of it coming out right now? Right after Ohio State's.
What gets me is
the number one team in the nation.
Yes,
on Tuesday, and then Thursday this happened.
It all waited until after the initial playoff, ranking first came out, and then it comes out, and then he's going to be out for 4 games, but they're appealing it, and it could have turned into 3 games, which makes it perfect because then he'll come back for the Michigan game, and it comes out before they play against Maryland and Rutgers, so it's like there's just a lot of shadiness to it, and just Ohio State's program as a whole, they are a very good football team, and right now, I think they're the best football team in the country. Them and LSU, I think, are the 2 top teams.
I think they're still number 1 with or without Chase Young.
Absolutely, but if this all comes out now, and what I don't understand, I guess, about it all is if this all comes out now and he's ineligible to play for the next 2, 3, maybe 4 games. What about the first 8 games of the season that he was on the field for? Why are those games? Why do those games still count?
Yep.
That's what if I'm an opponent and I'm on the outside and I'm playing against them, that's my question. Why are they the number 1 team in the country?
It's a very valid question. Valid question. But yeah, for all of our listeners, I did get some messages wanting to know our thoughts on this. So I figured I would. Shout you out, or not shout you out, but drop some knowledge on you. And anytime it comes anything to do with the NCAA, it seems like it's always shady as fuck. And unfortunately for this Wiseman kid, even if he is suspended for the rest of the year, I don't think it's that big of a deal because the kid's 7'1" and shoots like Dirk. And so it's not going to hurt his draft stock any. So, I mean, granted, you do lose the experience of 1 year, but as for especially tall kids like that, a year from banging around, especially because Memphis was very highly ranked, and there's a lot of expectations. Now, he still has 2 other top 50 recruits on that team. And for those of you that didn't know he was coaching, you better watch out because Memphis is going to be back very soon. Very soon. And what's cool, too, is Penny's son's on the team, too, wearing his number that's retired. So, all in all, it's just a cool story until you get to this. And it's like, just stop. Yeah. Just stop. There was a meme that someone posted that had something to do with a scholarship athlete finds $1 on the ground. The NCAA suspends him. But so yeah, I think we've kind of beaten that to death. The beginning of the year, you and I both, I think, were kind of trashing the and I think every sports analyst out there has looked at the Raiders and said, why are they trading all these people? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? I think I'm going to be the first one to step up and give John Gruden a fucking apology. Man's coached him up. And if you look at, they traded away Khalil Mack. With the pick they got from the Bears, they got Jacobs. Not to say that that's a fair, and that's a one, obviously one of them is a rock star and probably one of the best at his positions. Jacobs is getting there. And doing it behind an offensive line that's not the best. They don't have, a whole lot of established weapons to take it down, wide receiver wise. But yet they're 500, and the teams that they've lost are all potential playoff teams. They haven't been blown out of any games. So Gruden's been YX bananaing his ass off, and yeah, I figured it. I don't know if you agree with me, but Coach Gruden, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I mean, I ripped on him a lot, mostly because of the Antonio Brown situation. That was kind of, it seemed like that was just a soap opera all through, summer camp, and
they were on Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
So.
But there's no. Say what you want about Gruden. I know there's a lot of people that can't stand him. I know there's a lot of people that love him. The guy can coach football.
And there was a lot of questions going in, like, you haven't coached in like 10 years.
Yeah.
Has the game passed you by? Nope. Nope. And, getting back to everyone, when they traded Amari Cooper, why the fuck you doing that? They traded away Khalil Mack. Oh my God, he's the best motherfucker in all of the NFL. Oh my God.
Well, I think the draft picks that they had last season, especially, you got 3 first rounders, and
the Bears still owe you one next year.
Yeah.
So they, when you get that amount of just sheer volume from one player, now if these draft picks don't hold up, then I think Gruden's in a world of hurt. But in the short little, time span that we're looking at here, I think every one of them I'm not going to say hit a home run with, but he's getting extra base hits. Could they turn into home runs? Yes. Yes. I think Jacobs is on his way. Of course, you and I have been big fans of his.
Yes, absolutely.
And so for us to sit here and talk about him the way we are shouldn't be a shock to anybody. But from what we were looking at and hoping and trying to predict for him, he's destroyed it. I mean, he's figuratively and realistically running away with the Rookie of the Year. So, yeah, Coach Gruden, keep him up, man. And you know what? Football's better when the Raiders are at least relevant.
Yeah.
And, especially leading into, because what is it, next year they move to Vegas? Yep. So I think once they get to Vegas, you're going to see a whole other fandom, and you might not see, the black hole and stuff that was, in Oakland. But I think that's something. It's a brand. They have the right coach now. Because obviously he's proven that the game hasn't passed him by. Mm-hmm. And they're not making stupid draft picks anymore. Like, oh, who's the fastest wide receiver? Go draft him number one. Mm-hmm. You know, granted, a lot of that was ownership.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was. Keep it up, man. I love it.
And the timing of it is big too, because there's a lot of things happening on the West Coast for football.
Yes.
You know, you have the Rams moving into their new stadium, you know, next year, right in LA, and then you have the Niners, who only undefeated team in the NFL right now. So there's obviously big things happening out there, and it seems like that's kind of always been the thing, that Oakland's always the team that just gets forgotten about, and you can say that about every sport.
Yeah.
And so for them to be playing relevant football, they're moving into Vegas. You know, it's good timing that things are starting to turn around. I'm not saying that they're going to be a playoff team or that they're going to make a run in anything right now, but at least they're relevant.
Yeah, they're competitive. They're relevant. They're not going to be 1-6.
They took a flyer on Brown. Mm-hmm. It didn't work out. Obviously, they squashed it before the season even started. Mm-hmm. It looks like they're not going to have to pay him anything.
No.
So, we teased him and because it was a joke. I mean, Brown's, going to punch Mayock one day, and then the next day Gruden's saying he's got his receivers back and all that, and it was a soap opera, but it was taken care of before they even played one game in the regular season, and it's forgotten about now. So
yeah, it's more, especially with the AB situation. We kind of think more of when he was with the Pats for a week and a half. So yeah, that's just something that's been on my mind. So I figured, you know what, let's give him a big shout out. Well, how about we play a little paycheck and onions, my friend? Paycheck and onions, motherfucking paycheck and onions. Bow, 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 bow. So where are you at sitting score wise?
So last week when you announced the score on there, you were missing one of my weeks as far as adding up that. So
I might have done it on purpose to make myself look better.
Right now I'm going into, I'm at 41, but that's counting the 3 college games from yesterday.
Okay.
So I have 2 more NFL games going right now. I have Packers over the Panthers, and then I have, as my paycheck game, I have Saints over the Falcons, and the Saints are losing right now. So
Saints are moving the ball though, so I wouldn't. This game's not done yet.
No.
It kind of sucks. We'll get into that. Get into those reasons here in a little bit. But yeah, I'm sitting at 40. 40 on the 40th episode. What up now? So give me your first pick'em game. Where are you looking at with that?
First one that just jumped off to me was Michigan over Michigan State.
What's your score prediction on that?
I think Michigan beats them by at least 3 scores.
Oh, you're going that big.
Yep.
Okay.
It's, if it was in East Lansing, I would say maybe a different story. I think Michigan State's gonna come out and they're gonna give them their best shot, and it wouldn't surprise me if Michigan State plays their best game. My thing is Michigan State's just not a very good football team, and
their defense is even wavering, which is kind of odd.
Michigan's improving. Harbaugh's on the hot seat. You can't even make this game can't even be close.
No.
And I think Harbaugh knows that, and I think you're gonna see a Michigan team like you did on the Notre Dame game, and I think put your foot on the pedal and just you got to blow them out.
Especially with a rivalry game.
Yep.
Well, my first one, I'm staying in the Big Ten. I'm looking at Wisconsin at Nebraska. And no, I'm not taking Nebraska. There's no way. Taking Wisconsin. Then my second pick'em, one of the more intriguing NFL matchups is Texans at the Ravens. Don't want to toot my own horn, but I did on my Onions pick last week. Pick the Pats to go down. And that was a fun game to watch. So I'm going to continue the bandwagon, driving that bus. I'm taking the Ravens over the Texans. And that kind of hurts me because of fantasy football. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to be, Deshaun Watson can still throw 4 touchdowns and they can win, and the Ravens can win.
Yeah.
So, what's your second one?
Second one, I'm going Georgia over Auburn.
That's another good game.
Georgia, They slipped up a few weeks ago against South Carolina, but since that loss,
they're rolling.
They've been rolling. The defense is playing real well.
Had a lot of the freshmen and very young receivers are stepping their game up, helping my boy Jake Fromm. And once that happened, you can see the scores being I'm not going to call it a blowout, but they're beating teams the way that everyone thought at the beginning of the year they would.
And Penn State losing to Minnesota yesterday, Alabama losing to LSU yesterday, kind of opens that door for Georgia to, if destiny's in their hands and they have an opportunity to get back into that top four and get into that playoff spot. So this is a big game for Georgia, I think, because of what stands on this game and how they have an opportunity to get back in the top four. I think Georgia blows them out.
Not a bad pick. And what is your last pick'em?
Last one I pick, I'm going to Detroit next Sunday for the Cowboys-Lions game. I will be in all my Cowboys gear. And I'm picking my Cowboys to win over the Lions. Lions looking like probably not going to have Stafford.
Which is unfortunate.
Yes.
I mean, he was just picking up steam to where he could be or should be in the MVP consideration.
But the game scares me because the Cowboys have a tendency of always playing to the other team's level. So it would not shock me. I mean, a couple weeks ago, we lost to the goddamn Jets.
The gosh damn Jets.
So it's like, this game could go either way. It's in Detroit, but the Lions always find a way to lose. And so I'm taking my Cowboys.
I don't blame you. I'm going to stick in the Big Ten. And I tell you what, the Big Ten has probably been the most exciting Big Ten season I can remember in quite a while. Usually there's one or two, maybe three teams that are far above everybody else. But top to bottom, I mean, it's been exciting to watch.
I mean, you talk about the top 6, 7 teams in the Big Ten, but nobody's really talking about Indiana.
No, well,
Indiana's only got 2 losses.
Yeah, and Christian and I touched a little bit on Indiana last week because I think I took them. No, maybe he did. I can't remember which, but yeah, we were definitely even going down to Indiana, and their quarterback's legit, team's legit. Well, I'm looking at the PJ Fleck led Gophers are going into Iowa. So you talk about 2 big fucking games in a row. Michigan had that. Ohio State had that. Wisconsin had it. That's just proof positive that this league's pretty legit. I'm on that boat. I've got an oar in my hand, and I'm helping row the boat Minnesota over Iowa. So what is your paycheck game, Mr. 2Ks?
Paycheck game, I'm going LSU over Ole Miss. I think Ohio State's the best team in the country. I think LSU's the next best team. To me, that would be the most intriguing matchup to see in the national championship, Ohio State LSU. Burrow, I think he's the Heisman Trophy winner as it stands right now. Ohio State quarterback might be, number 2. Probably could make an argument that he could be number 1 right now. But LSU coming off a huge win, going to Bama, taking that win, get Ole Miss the next week. I think they take care of business against Ole Miss.
I think I would agree with you on that one as well. My paycheck game, I don't like to do this, but we all know that TB12 doesn't lose that often. And when he doesn't lose 2 games in a row. So the Pats travel to Philadelphia. Even though they're on the road, Philadelphia is playing a lot better right now. But you got to take TB12 on this one. You got to take it, and whatever the point spread is, take the over, because Tommy's not going to be happy. I think Tommy puts up maybe 45, 48, somewhere in there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can book that one.
I'd be interested to look. I mean, I don't know the stat, but I would be very interested to look at TB12, Bill Belichick, and what their record is coming off of bye week.
Probably perfect.
Yeah. It would not shock me one bit if it was perfect.
No. No.
So I think you're pretty safe with that pick. I like the pick.
My onions pick. I'm going to the Big 12. And this is this game. This is one of those games I want to watch the whole game because you notice I said Big 12, which means there's going to be zero defense and a whole lot of scoring. Oklahoma at Baylor, and Baylor's undefeated. This will be Baylor's biggest test of the year so far, and they have it at home. And I don't know what the point spread is, but Oklahoma being ranked higher, I'm just going to assume that they're going to be favored. But I'm taking Baylor. Taking Baylor, and kind of shockingly, after that Kansas State loss, Jalen Hurts' name has kind of fizzled away in the Heisman talk, even though that game he played outstanding, and just their defense didn't play outstanding. So, Lamar Jackson, 47-yard touchdown run, third touchdown run of the game. Like a Bengals.
Glad I'm not playing against him this week.
Yeah, no kidding. So what is your onions pick? Wrap up this week's edition of Paycheck and Onions.
Onions pick, I'm going back to the Minnesota-Iowa, that pick that you had earlier. Minnesota coming off of a huge game. I mean, probably Fleck's biggest game since he's been at Minnesota. Huge win. Now they got to go into Iowa. Iowa's lost how many close games in a row? And they've been right there, had the opportunity to win. Kinnick Stadium's very hard to go to and win.
Yep.
Seems like Iowa always has a big win there every year.
How many undefeated seasons have stopped?
Yes.
After playing in Iowa.
Iowa seems to always have that big win against whether it's Ohio State, whether it's Michigan. Undefeated team goes in there, they get beat. I'm picking it Iowa over Minnesota.
All right. I like it. So let's do a little fantasy football update, even though I don't want to look at it right now. Because, fun fact, this is the week Kyle and I play. And, oh, God. And Kyle took his first L last week.
I did. Dude, my old man.
Yeah. And my team's been kind of surging. I think I'm on a 3-game winning streak. Tied for the 4th spot, so we're still looking good for playoff contention. But it's not looking good because, and for those of you that don't know fantasy football, let's see here. I've got, my starting quarterback, starting receiver, and one of my starting running backs all on a bye. And my normal quarterback and wide receiver, if I always like to pair a receiver with my starting quarterback. You get double points. It's always a good thing. I've got Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins, obviously both on a bye. Now, one would think that Drew Brees is a very good backup, but it's getting almost to the halfway into the third quarter, and Drew Brees has not thrown a touchdown, which is super awesome. I guess the saving grace is, you're starting Matt Ryan, and you're only ahead of me by 3 points. So everything kind of Melvin Gordon was very nice to me. 108 yards and a touchdown on Thursday, so that was a good way to start off the week. But as it is right now, you're projected to beat me 205 to 178. Granted, my defense hasn't played yet, so your defense always gets it always pumps that up about almost 10 points. So definitely not out of the woods here. I'm not going to anoint you with the win quite yet. Still got a lot of fights, still got a lot of time, and for those of you that do follow fantasy football, if two of my dudes score touchdowns real quick, that projection line can move a lot. So. Yeah. Not that worried, but still, I would much rather be beating you by 100 points right now. And let's see where everybody is standing since we talked about the standings. We got 2Ks 8-1, Miss Kayla Cleatsy Cleavage 7-1-1, and then we have a dog pile at 5-4. We got Scott, me, Carl, and Troy all at 5-4, and that's where So, if the playoffs started right now, you'd be the first seed. Kayla would be the second seed, and then points for. Then it'd be your dad, who would be the third seed.
And then it'd be Scott.
And Scott by two fucking points. Yeah. So your boy Turbo is not out of the playoff hunt yet. But some of the folks that probably are is Matt sitting at 3-6. And I think we can tie a bow on Christian and Frank.
Yeah. And they're still making trades. That's what cracks me up.
As long as they're trading with each other, who cares? Who cares? Oh, we forgot Jeremy in there. Jeremy's, I didn't mean to overlook you, brother, but you're sitting there at 4-5.
He's like the hardest guy I've ever played with in college or in fantasy sports to negotiate trades with, by the way.
Yeah, he has a very unique GM style.
Yeah.
Very unique. But overall, for our first year, I'm very happy. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at all of us, even though you have one loss, I'm looking at you. It's not like you're outscoring everyone by 50 points a week. Hell, there's been like the last 3 or 4 weeks. If you and I were to play, I would have beat you by 30 or 40 points.
Yeah, I'm a half game ahead of Kayla, and she's got like about 100 more points than I do for the season. So
then you look at your dad at 5-4. He's one of the higher scoring teams.
Yeah.
And if you want to look at mine, I'm pretty sure, I think Christian pointed it out. I'm like second or third for people scoring against me. So it's a well-rounded league.
Yep.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it.
And as far as, those, I think it's pretty safe to say that Kayla and I are probably in. But
yes.
The next 2 spots, there's 5 teams right there that can go
Absolutely.
any way.
I mean, yeah, Jeremy's 1 game back.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the one that's shocking me is Carl, to be honest with you. Considering he wanted his $50 back like week 2.
Yeah, well, I think he started the season off like 0-3 or 0-4, and then he went on he won 4 or 5 games in a row.
Yeah, so I mean, overall, I think it's been a really good success in our first year, and something I'll run by you, and just and I'll throw it out there to the 2K crew as well. I know a lot of folks don't like or don't want to commit to a full year fantasy season. What do you think about doing DraftKings League? $3 a week, because it was $50 bones to get into this one. If we do $3 a week times 17 weeks, it's $51. So if you play the whole time, you're pretty much paying the same.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't want to play 1 week or you forget or something, no big deal. Jump in the next week. I think we'd get a lot more players that way.
Mm-hmm. And
just for the simple fact that it's more fun, because each version, the full season version, when you do have a bad run like Christian, because his team's not horrible at all.
No.
When you're locked in with something like that, and it seems like no matter what you do, you playing the highest scorer every week, that gets fucking frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a clean slate every week, and I think it'd be a lot more fun. And so I'm not saying we can get rid of.
No, I would be down to doing both.
Yeah. And so just kind of, in the comments, drop us a line. Is this something that you'd be interested in? Because if you're interested in it, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
I would love more opportunities to take your money.
Mm-hmm. And like everybody the 10 people that are in our league now, you guys are all in.
Mm-hmm.
If you tell us next season you don't want to play, all right, then we'll find a replacement. But if somebody else is trying to get in, we're not going to put you in unless somebody else is going to open up their spot.
Well, if we get 10 more people that want to play a regular one, sure, no problem.
Absolutely.
No problem. But it's just one more way, like I said, this is all about fun. Yep. Yes, is it cool to win money? Sure, sure. But we might have to do a T-shirt or something for the champion. Mm-hmm. And speaking of T-shirts, if you haven't checked out our Teespring store, the Joe Buck Sucks t-shirt is on sale. We actually sold, I think, 3 or 4 of them. One to Jay Stone. He was the first one to buy one. But instead of like the hashtag 2K Crew shirt, there's a lot of colors available. There's even a pink. So if you're a chick and you love pink, or I shouldn't say that because Jay Stone loves pink. If you want your hashtag or your I hate Joe Buck or Joe Buck Sucks, excuse me. If you want that shirt, go on there. I think it's $20. So I think they're pretty cool. And just redid our logo, so you're gonna see some logo merch on there as well. So yeah, and what I might be looking into, kind of what Carter Sriracha has a Shopify storefront. So I might check into that because I think their print and everything's a little more higher quality. So regardless, there's going to be merch available. I'll make sure everyone knows where it's at. But yeah, pretty stoked about that. Is there anything else on the fantasy that we need to hit on besides Christian's still holding that strong half game lead over Frank for the non-bottom spot, which is pretty awesome. Kudos to you. And yeah, all right. Well, we're almost perfect timing, Kyle. We're at an hour 1. So anything else you want to wrap up? Any shout outs? Anything? We already shouted out our newest YouTube subscriber, Quaker421.
No, I think we're all set.
All right. Well, we expect pictures and shit from Detroit. Yep. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, everyone have a great week. And Jim Rome, you know the drill. We're motherfucking coming for you.